Welcome. In this video, we're going to do a solo playthrough of Heroes of Tenefyr. So down at the table for our setup, I'm going to do an easy game. So we're going to use this side of the board and put our starting token there. So for normal and hard, you'd start further along the track. Then for true solo, we're going to take 2 of the 4 in the base game. We've got a Barbarian, Bard, Cleric, and Thief. I'm going to go with the Barbarian and Bard. So for each of those, we're going to take their basic skill, then they get 6 basic ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and then 6 basic zeros. So we've got that for the Bard. Same thing for the Barbarian. Take all those cards and shuffle them together. And for each of those, basically the ones give us 1 strength power, and the zeros, well, give us nothing. So we've got this shuffled up. We'll put our starting deck right there for now. Then we'll have 5 levels of the dungeon, have those labeled here with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We also need a boss monster, so we've got a Stone Titan, Chaos Dragon, a Dark Lord, and a Spider Queen. I'm just going to go with the Stone Titan, so we'll take those 4 cards. And hopefully we make it to him. This is one of the rare ones where all his cards are going to be the same thing. Enemy can't be damaged by basic cards, which are the ones we're starting with. At the end of the combat, each player shuffles all basic cards from their discard pile into their deck. And in a 2-player game or solo, basically we've taken 2 decks, put into one. We need 11 victory or damage to defeat one of them, and we're going to have to do that 4 times. So you can see for 3 players, it goes up by 2, and then 3 more for 4 players. So I think 3 or 4 players will be a little bit easier, but haven't played with that count yet. Then for each of the levels of dungeon, we'll grab the cards that have the corresponding number. So once again, what we need to defeat for our solo or 2-player hero, we need 2 power to defeat this. Once we defeat a monster in here, we're going to flip it over and put it in our discard pile. So it's going to provide us 1 power and give us a special ability. So to get this set up, we're going to take all the level 1s, shuffle them, then make 2 stacks of 4 cards there, then another stack of 4, a little gap, and then the remainders we'll just put up here, and we're going to do that for each of the levels of the dungeon. And then with all that done, we're going to go to our reward stacks. Each level of the dungeon has 4 cards. I'm going to take those and shuffle them. So for this dungeon, we're going to get a reward. So if we defeat all the monsters in that, choose one together. One player may put up to 4 basic cards of their choice from their deck in their discard pile. The other players may remove 1 card of their choice from their decks, or take the top card from one dungeon and add it to the reserve. Replace it with a dungeon card of your choice of the same level from the reserve. So we're going to do that for each of the levels of the dungeon. So like I said, each has 4 cards. Give it a shuffle. Place out rewards for each of those. And we can put these off the table. And we'll keep those so we can remember that we are a Barbarian and Bard. I'm going to flip the top monster from each dungeon. So there we have Slime, a Goblin, a Zombie, Imp, Werewolf, some Kobold Drummers, a Lesser Demon, a Ghost, Orc Warband, and Armored Minotaur. So that's our setup. Like I said, our goal is to build our deck powerful enough so we can take on all 4 levels of the boss monster. Every time we go into a dungeon, if we come out victoriously, ending our turn, we're going to go up 1 on the track. If we are not able to defeat a monster, it's going to beat us up and we go 2 up on the track. When the track hits here, we fight the boss monster whether we're ready or not. The quick phases of the turn is when it's our turn, we're going to draw step. We draw 3 cards, discard your entire hand and draw 3 new cards as many times as we want. And since we're playing solo, we get to do this twice. Normally when you're playing with multiple players, one person does 3, gets the hands they want, play them, and then you go through each hero, and by the end of the turn, you need to have defeated the monster in front of you. So play step, play all the cards from your hand in the order of your choice. Check if the enemy has been defeated. If not, the next player takes their turn. So if combat ends with the enemy defeated, all players have taken a turn. If the enemy was defeated, give the loot to the player whose turn it was that defeated it. So if you're playing multiplayer, whoever kills the monster gets the card. Discard all played cards to give the starting player to the next player. If you win, decide to continue in the dungeon or leave. And if you lost, you're kicked out of the dungeon, and this is going to move up 2 spaces. So hopefully that made a little sense. If not, a couple turns here, you'll have this figured out. So our options right now are to jump into this dungeon, going after a goblin with a strength of 3. Doesn't have any special ability, just run away, live another day, a goblin saying. Or we can go after slime. Still need 3 to defeat it, and no special ability on it. And I'm going to go after the goblin just because if I defeat it, I know I'm getting a card that's going to do 1 damage next time. So basically, we get to take 2 turns of drawing cards. So draw 3, you can see doing 1. We're doing 2 damage there, so I'm good with that. We're 2/3 of the way to victory. Then our next hand, got the Bard skill. If you're a Bard, you may discard the top 2 cards from your deck to double the total power of one other player. This can even be used on a player who hasn't taken their turn yet. And when you're playing solo, other players refer to ourselves. But we've got 4 damage going in against a monster that has 3 health. So we're going to defeat that monster. Goes to our discard pile, along with the cards we've played, and we won that battle. We're going to choose to stay in the dungeon. So flipping the next one, we've got a bandit, 3 health. Starting player draws 1 card less during their draw step. So we're only going to draw 2 cards to fight this guy. And that's 2 zeros. We're going to not accept that. Discard and draw 2 more. We've got a 1, which means we really need this to have... We've got to keep going until we get 2, or else we're going to lose here. So, nope. There we go. So we got the 3 damage we need. We've defeated him, so we got a surprise attack coming up in our next battle. We're going to choose to keep on going. Kobold Trickster, 2 health. At the start of the combat, the starting player shuffles 2 basic 0 cards from their discard pile into their deck. Well, we've got plenty of zeros in here. Shuffle these back in. And start battling. So we got 1, we're halfway to defeating. Do it 1 more time. And we got what we needed. So he's defeated. We've got some training. Now I've got 1 more monster to go and only 3 cards to beat it up. And I'm not feeling confident with that, so we are going to leave the dungeon, meaning we move 1 up on the track. Shuffle our discards back in here. See what we had left. Yep, we would have only done 1 damage. So we're shuffling all this together. Of course, we're going to flip this and see what was there. We needed to do 3. Did not kill everything, so we don't get the reward. But we can choose to go back in there if we want. And I think I do, just because I like the reward at the bottom. So the reward for this is you may remove up to 2 cards of your choice from your deck. So I'd like to get rid of some of the 0 basics, or you may give 1 card of your choice from your deck to another player. So we're going to choose to run back in here just for 1 card. All right, if you're the starting player, you may draw an extra card. So we've got our 3 cards. I'm good with that. We'll play that, draw an extra card. So we're doing 2 damage. Then we're good there. So we have defeated the last monster. So we're leaving the dungeon, moving up on the track. We're going to remove up to 2 cards from our deck. Going to be those. And shuffle. So that might not have been worth it, but we'll see how bad it goes for us. So now we can go into any level dungeon as we want to. But as you can tell, since I couldn't take on a level 1 by myself the first time, probably wasn't going to go any further. We're going to keep level 1. We'll just move this down so it's closer for us to see. Going in for a slime with a health of 3. We'll keep that. So we've got 2 strength. And 2 more. So the slime is now part of our deck. Keep on going. Got a Kobold Trickster, start of the combat. Starting player shuffles 2 basic 0 cards into their deck. And with this reshuffled, we need 2 damage. We'll keep it. Oops, got him upside down. So choose 1 card from your discard pile and put it into your hand. But we've already got the damage we need. So we are good there. Next, Gargoyle, just a strength of 4. 3 cards. We're going to discard that and try harder. All right, Bard skill. If you're the Bard, you may discard the top 2 cards from your deck to double the total power of one other player. We're going to not do that. So we just got 2 fight coming in now. We need 2 more. So we'll go ahead and play this. If you're the Barbarian, you may draw 3 extra cards. We will. We've got 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we've got a Gargoyle. It's going to give us a 2 bash. And we're going to stay in here fighting a giant rat. This enemy can only be defeated during the last player's turn. So 3 cards. Good. We've only done 1 damage. And we had just enough to take down a rat. So with this one player may put up to 4 basic cards of their choice from their deck into their discard pile. We're not going to do that. The other players may remove 1 card of their choice from their decks. That's going to be another 0. And then shuffle up and pick another dungeon. All right. So for our next dungeon delve, we're going in here against a zombie. Oh yes, and that moves up 1. So our zombie is, each basic 0 card gets +1 power. What's in your head? Of course, we get 3 right there. He needs 6. So basic 0 gets +1 power. We can choose 1 card from our discard pile and put it into your hand. We don't have 1 yet, so needless to say, we don't have enough to defeat, so we're going to discard that and try harder. May remove a card of your choice from your discard pile. We like that. But then we wouldn't win the battle. So this isn't going well. Well, wait. I forgot. Our 0s are +1. So yes, we can do this. This is going to give us our 6. Remove a card of our choice from our discard pile. Removing that. Move that up. So if we're a cleric, 1 other player may shuffle up to 2 cards of their choice from their discard pile into their deck. I'm not the cleric. One of the variants does allow you to go into your dungeon and remove cards like this for characters not in the game, but I did not do that. So next we have an imp. Start of the combat. Each player shuffles 2 basic 0 cards from their discard pile back into their deck. Health of 3. So 2 0s. Getting shuffled back in here. One, two, 3. All right. We're doing 1 damage. We'll keep that. So we've got a total of 3 damage coming in with the 1 and this 2. Imp is defeated. Player may choose a card from their discard pile and put it in another player's discard pile. Not going to work single player because we'll be taking a card out of our discard pile, putting it back in later. But it is 1 damage. So moving on down our dungeon, got an ogre, strength of 5. If you are the starting player, you may draw an extra card. So we've got 4 damage here. Double the power of one of your cards. All right, we've got more than enough to take out the ogre. And then lastly, Acid Slime. At the end of the combat, the player who defeated this enemy must remove one of the cards they played this combat. All right. Discard the top 2 cards of your deck. Double the total power of one other card. Playing that, you may remove a card from your choice from your discard pile. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this. So remove a card from our discard pile. Use the ability to discard 2 cards so we can double the total power of one other player card. And now, somehow we need to do 3 damage here. We can double that. That's just going to be total 3, so that's not going to work. All right, choose 1 card from your discard pile and put it into your hand. And we'll take the smash. And then double the smash so we can get 5 damage. And now I've got to remove one of these from the game. Of course, that's a basic 1. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get rid of that from the game. So we barely defeated the slime. So we're back out. That moves up. You may remove up to 2 cards of your choice from your deck. We're going to choose that option. Going in to find some basic zeros. Then we're going to choose our next dungeon. And I'm just going to bring it over here. Going after that one just because I want to be able to remove 3 more cards from our deck. So for the Lesser Demon, start of the combat phase, each player shuffles all basic 0 cards from the discard pile into their deck. All right, done with that. Now to see if we can come up with 9 damage. Yep, that's not going to work. 0. Bard skill, basic 1. Nope. Probably a bad idea. Weaken. Continue in this dungeon, the next enemy gets -1 power. So there's 3. So I need to do 6 here. I think I'm going to end up failing. If you're the starting player, choose a card from their discard pile and put into another player's. So 3 is not going to do it. 3 is not going to do it. Yep, that was a mistake. Remove. Yep, we're going to risk it here. May remove a card from your choice from your discard pile. We're going to play that. Get rid of a 0. Then, if you are the Barbarian, you may draw 3 extra cards. So we're up to 4 out of 9. And we failed. So we are getting kicked out of the dungeon. So this is going to move up 2. And we reshuffle. And, yep, I got to have a much better deck before I deal with that guy. So we'll go after this one. Kobold Drummers. Each basic 0 gets -1 power. And we need a 5 on that one. All right, we're going to go with this one. So we've got 2, drawing 3 more cards. Minor healing. We're not a cleric. If you continue in this dungeon, the next enemy gets -1 power. All right. So we did 5 damage there. And our next fight gets -1 power. So this Minotaur is going to be a 6. All right, double the power of one of your cards. Choose a card from your hand. Choose one card from your discard pile and put it into your hand. We'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to grab Weaken again, so the next enemy will get -1 power. This doubles one of our other cards, so we've got 3 right there. And he's only got 6. Choose a card. Yep, that's not going to help us, so we'll discard. So if you're the bard, you may discard the top 2 cards from your deck to double the total power of one other player, which we'll do there. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're good with that one. Next battle, it's going to be a 4 because of the other card we play. Ignore the text on all player cards. All right, so just basic 3. And we made it up to 6. And our final battle, got a Minotaur, 7. Oh, might not make it. Yep, we're not going to beat this guy. May remove a card of your choice from your discard pile. Getting rid of that. We failed. We get kicked out of the dungeon. 1, 2. All right. So we are going back in this dungeon. We need 7. There's 4. May remove a card from your choice from a discard pile. Now we just need 3. That's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. That will do it. So now we've defeated this dungeon. So in the next combat, each player gets +2 power at the start of their turn. So we're going to choose that option and do some shuffling. And that moves up. All right, so each player gets +2 for this one. 2, 3. So we're going up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, we're going into this one. 7, 8, 9. So just barely got it. So the lesser demon is now ours. Moving on. Pirate Master. Ignore each player's highest power card after resolving card text. Choose one if several cards are tied for the highest. Need 6 power. That's going to get us only 2. So somehow we need 4 while ignoring another one. That's not going to do it. Not feeling good about this. That's not going to do it. That would get ignored. Yeah, I'm not feeling good about this. Okay, all players may ignore the text on the enemy card. There, we got our 6. Pirate Masters defeated. Alright, start of the combat, the starting player discard cards from the top of their deck until they discard a basic 1. 7 health. And we're going to lose. Double the power of one of your cards. You have to choose a card from your discard pile to put into our hand. We will go ahead and do that. Even though we know we're going to lose. I'm going to get that card so I can play it to remove a card from our choice from our discard pile. To get rid of a basic 0. Kicked out of the dungeon, so we've got one more turn left. And I do not think I've done well. Alright, so going back in for this battle, we're going to the same dungeon. Discarding cards until we discard a basic 1. Then we start our turn, doing 3 damage. We need to do 7. We'll draw 3 more cards. All right, we've defeated that one. Moving on to a ghost, each basic 1 gets -1 power. This enemy can only be defeated during the last player's turn. And 7. Well, there's 3. So we need 4. Oh, yes. Nope, that's just 2 because of the basic 1. Yeah, I'm not going to keep that. That's even worse. Ooh, all players may ignore the text on the enemy card. Yep, we'll keep it. Double the power of one of your cards. You may remove a card from your choice from your discard pile. That's still not going to get us our 7, though. If you're a bard, each other player's basic cards gets +1 power. That's going to be enough to do it. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we get that. Our options, you may remove up to 3 cards of your choice from your deck. You may give up to 2 cards. So we're going to remove 3 cards. So we got 3 zeros down here. No more zeros, so we're getting rid of a basic 1. And we've got out of there, so now we're going on to the boss fight. And only played this game one other time, and I'm not feeling confident because I don't think we had a hard time getting 7. We're going to have a hard time getting 11 4 times in a row. So be sure to tell me what the strategy is in the comments below. But at least this shows you the basics of the game. So for our boss fight, none of these cards matter anymore. We'll bring these out. If they were different, we'd shuffle them. Well, we'll go ahead and shuffle them, but they're all going to be the same for us. We need 11. This enemy can't be damaged by basic cards. At the end of the combat, each player shuffles all basic cards from the discard pile into their deck. So we need 11. Basic. All players may ignore the text on the enemy card. All right. So there's 3. We just need 8. All right, that got us up to 5. If you are the board, each player may take 1 random dungeon card from their discard pile and shuffle it into their deck. 3 cards didn't work. Double the power of one of your cards. So we can get this to be 7, so that only takes us up to 10. Yep, I don't think this is going to work for us. You may search your deck for 1 card of your choice and put it into your hand. Once again, Best that's going to do is get us up to 8. View the Bard. Each other player's basic cards gets +1 power. So 6, 7, 8, 9. Choose one card from your discard pile, put it into your hand. Once again, we can go get a 3. Yep, that's not going to work. You search your deck for up to 4 cards of your choice and put them into your discard pile. If you're the Bard, you may discard the top 2 cards of your deck to double the total power of one other card. Yep, we're not even going to get one, but we're going with this. Drawing 3 more cards. So 5, and this is our final battle. 6, 7. We can discard that from our hand to find a card in a discard pile to put into your hand. If this card's power is equal to the level of the current dungeon, or 5 when fighting the boss. Well, yep, that's going to work. So we can use the recover to go get a 3. So 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We defeated 1. And the next one comes out with the same text, and we have 2 cards. So we were defeated. So we did get lucky enough to at least take down one of the 4 cards. Like I said, the other options are a Chaos Dragon, a Dark Lord with different text. Yeah, I'll take a quick look at those. Start the combat, shuffle all players' decks together, then create new decks for them. So that's pretty chaotic. And will be damaged by cards with an odd-numbered power. The Dark Lord. Into the combat, take 2 random level 2 dungeon cards from the reserve and shuffle them into the boss deck. +1 power for each other card left in the boss deck. Nasty. And +1 power for each uncompleted dungeon. Ooh, nasty ones. Dark Lord is going to be tough. Then the Spider Queen. Start of the combat, each player discards a top card from their deck. The player with the highest discarded power becomes the starting player and fights this enemy alone. Start of the combat, the starting player discards the top 4 cards of their deck. Start of combat, each player discards the top 3 cards from their deck. For each basic 0, it gets +2 power. And for each basic card discarded, doing the same thing, but gets +1 power. So that's the basics on how to play Heroes of Tenefer. So pretty quick game to learn. Finding the right strategy for deck building, something that's going to take a little practice at least. So as always, hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.